So if you've started using my exam preparation success planner, I hope you're finding it very useful. And if you have any questions about it, please do reply to the email and I will reply back to you. So I am going to help you with filling out the 3 aspects of learning on the planner, and I'll be providing videos each week. And each week we're going to have a different focus. So I know some of you like to plan every day, and I also know some of you like to plan every week. There's no right or wrong way. Please do it the way that suits you. So this week our focus is on grammar, and we're going to be focusing on modal verbs. So, modal verbs. First of all, your child needs to know what they are. So what is a modal verb? And a modal verb is used with a verb, and it is used to describe the possibility of something happening or to describe the degree of certainty into which something is known. So this might be very confusing when you first tell it to your child, and that's absolutely fine. The way I simply explain it is a verb of possibility. It can't be used on its own. It will, in most instances, be used with another verb. That's how I teach it to the children that I teach. I teach it from as early as year 3, and it is really important that they know what a modal verb is. It comes up a lot. So then you can teach them different types of modal verbs. So I'm going to give you a few, but you can also find these online and go through them with your child. So here are some modal verbs: might, might not, could, could not, would, would not, must, must not, will, will not, ought, ought not, can, cannot, should, should not. So those are some modal verbs. They are verbs of possibility. After you've gone through the modal verbs with your child, it's really helpful to put them into sentences and then ask your child to identify what the modal verb is that you've used. So for example, you could say to your child, "You must tidy your room." What is the modal verb? Must. What does that indicate about the degree of possibility? Does it mean that you will do it, or does it mean that probably you won't do it? Must probably is you will do it. You can ask your child to change it so it's a different degree of possibility. So it could be, "You should tidy your room. You might tidy your room." Okay? And just keep going through different examples of modal verbs. So this week's focus for you is modal verbs. I want you to just focus on this, find different activities to do with your child relating to modal verbs, get them really confident in this aspect of learning. It's all about repetition. It needs to be repeated. With regards to your planner for the 3 aspects of learning, so just to give you some examples, of course you can come up with your own. So the first aspect of learning could be, "My child will tell me what a modal verb is." Aspect of learning number 2, "My child will give me 4 examples of modal verbs." Aspect of learning number 3, "My child will put a modal verb into a sentence." And there you have your 3 aspects of learning. Those will take you through the whole week because you need to keep practicing them. You can also practice this in your everyday life. When you're making dinner, you could give your children a sentence, give your child a sentence. "You should wash your hands before dinner." "You must wash your hands before dinner." "You will go to bed at 8 o'clock." "You should go to bed at 8 o'clock. Just really emphasize those modal verbs. And I promise you that after a week, your child will remember them.